Hello! We can safely say you're one of the first schools ever to use a new version of GarageBand on iPad to explore traditional Chinese music. In the past, students have learned the theory and cultural background of Chinese music. Many have performed it, but this project is unique in that it gives you a chance to use Chinese music as a launchpad for your own compositions and improvisations. This project is also special for me because I'm half Chinese. I grew up here in Scarborough, in Yorkshire, but I hardly know anything about Chinese music. And as I grow older, I realise how important it is to know about your roots. What I do know is that China has a population of 1.3 billion people. That's 4 times the population of America and 20 times the population of the UK. It's got so many different styles of music that we'd be hard pushed to study them all in a whole academic year, never mind in a 4-week session. So, we've chosen 2 overlapping styles to focus on: instrumental folk and classical music, with a little bit of loud and heavy drumming at the end. We chose these because they're some of the oldest recorded styles in the world and are deeply rooted in wider Chinese culture. And where to start? Well, as a teacher, I know it's really important to get information from primary sources, so in this case from Chinese musicians themselves. So I met up with Cheng Yu, a master Chinese musician, a pipa player, to get the information firsthand.
Hi, I'm Cheng Yu. My instrument is called pipa, which is a 4-stringed, half pear-shaped lute. We have a lot of frets from top to the bottom here, and we play with our modern days with our fingernails rather than pluck drums. It has a whole piece of wood carved out from normally rosewood, very well seasoned rosewood or cedar wood. Sometimes over 100 years if you're very top quality of pipa. And the head is very symbolic. Sometimes you have dragon head. Men used to use the dragon head symbolic, and we, as women, we choose flower or sometimes a music or character on the top. So the 4 strings sound like this. So C, D, A. You can see this one is an octave. And very unlike Western string instrument, the middle 2 strings are tuned a tone apart. So that's very Chinese. And the strings used to be made of silk. That's why we classify the string instrument as silk. Silk and bamboo means string and wind instruments ensemble. The pipa came to China around 2nd or 3rd century AD, and it came down through the Silk Road, come to China and become a very favorite instrument in the town court around 8th to 10th century. When it first came to China, this instrument obviously hold like horizontal, and just like the nowadays Persian lute called wood or guitar. You can see through the nearly 2,000 years, this pipa become now this way. We hold it upright. The main technique for the pipa is P is use your index finger play forward. Pa is use your thumb to play backwards. That's how the name come from in the history book. That's the main technique, but we developed a lot from this too. So you can have a rolling technique, 滚 we call it. It's just like a lot of quick movement. And the other main technique for the pipa, which is quite unique, is the tremolo, because we do quite differently from guitar. We do the going outward rather than inward. So we use 5 individual fingers to link all the points into a melodic line. tremolo, we actually start very slow. We actually do one by one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The way to do is that every single finger pass on the same point. You get the same quality of sound, and you actually, if you want to do a very, very even points, you actually count 6 points, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chinese melody, basically folk melody, are pentatonic, but we do actually add a lot of extra elements. We call it, like in one tradition called add flowers, variations, make change to the melody, make it more different, more like your own melody. We often pulling the strings to can be from half tone to 1 tone to a minor third. For example, we could do, that's quite often. And also, so push in.
The first thing we need to do is open the app and turn on the Chinese instruments. So there's GarageBand. We're going to create a new song in the top left, and I'm just going to choose the keyboard instrument so I get on the right interface. Now if we go to the settings menu, that spanner in the corner, go to advanced and switch on the Chinese instruments. Now if we go back to our instruments menu up there, we can see, there's the Pipa. It's appeared. Now this is the Pipa. We can touch it to get a short staccato sound, or press and hold it to get a longer sound. We can also use elements of ornamentation, or as Chen calls it, adding flowers. So we've got the note bending, and we've also got the adding of tremolo. The scale is set to a major pentatonic, which is the scale we're going to use. But if you happen to play Pipa already, or if you want to have a go, you can put it into the original scale and have a play. I'm going to go back to the major pentatonic, and I'm just going to try and play some different melodies using the note bending and the tremolo. So now open up your iPad and have a go creating melodies using ornamentation. For the third and final exercise in this lesson, we're going to explore improvisation on the pipa. In fact, you've already been improvising with your use of ornamentation, but now we're going to go further and create some new melodies over a backing track. So, open the live loop section and choose the traditional Chinese set. There's the live loop section, Chinese modern, Chinese traditional. Now we're going to delete some instruments so we've got enough room for our solo. Tap once, then tap again to bring up the menu and delete the dizzy, the Erhu and the pipa. So let's listen to what the remaining instruments sound like. Sound great. Before we open our pipa, we need to turn these instruments down to about 50%, because the pipa is quite a quiet instrument, so we can do that like that. Now we're going to set some of the background loops going and have a go at playing different improvised phrases over the top. So I'm going to open a new instrument, a new pipa instrument. Let's have a go. For some of you, this will come naturally. For others who feel stuck, imagine having a conversation and play the rhythm of the conversation on the pipa. For example, have you seen the clouds today? Yes, I think it's going to rain. You've already got a rhythm there. Don't think about it too much and leave plenty of space between phrases, and after a little bit of practice it'll sound great. Have a go. When you're feeling comfortable and happy with your improvisation, try recording the phrase in. You've got 4 bars, so make them count. Hit the red button to start recording and you get a count of 4 in. And now you see it's gone green, and now it's playing back my recording. Once you've done your first improvisation, you can open up another cell and try a second one. So we'll go back to our live loops grid and open the neighbouring cell and repeat the process. So now you have a go, creating 1 or more improvisations. Here's one I made earlier. You can see I have 4 improvisations down at the bottom, so let's try out some different combinations of accompanying loops with each improvisation. Here's the first improvisation. A different improvisation with a different backing track. And another. So creating real contrast here in my piece. Next we're going to record our improvisations in sequence. I'm going to start with a thin texture and then bring in the improvisations one by one as I go. So starting off with a thin texture, just 1 cell. Now I'm going to trigger some different ones. Fantastic. So now we're going to name and export our song. So tap My Songs in the top left-hand corner and then select and tap on the name of the song and call it what you want. And then once you've named it, you can upload it to Google Drive, Dropbox or SoundCloud for assessment by your teacher or to share with the world. Well done.